I'm not trying to promote misinformation. I'm not trying to be controversial. These podcasts are very strange because they're just conversations. And oftentimes I have no idea what I'm going to talk about until I sit down and talk to people. And that's why some of my ideas are not that prepared or fleshed out, because I'm literally having them in real time.
I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. He didn't say he doesn't prepare.
Right.
I mean, you go into a debate oftentimes and you have no idea what your opponent's going to talk about.
Sure.
He's like, I'm just accidentally saying things. I'm opening my mouth and like words are falling out accidentally. Yes, he is trying to say everything that he's saying. I mean, I'm going to throw it to you, Ben, because misinformation is deliberate. It's not like, well, I accidentally opened my mouth and whoops, I said don't get vaccinated.
I will say, Joy, you know, it isn't 3 hours of the galaxy brain stuff. It's not 3 straight hours of insane stuff, but that's how he reels you in, right? That's how all of these things work. Is that he'll talk to you in a regular cadence about normal stuff for about 10 minutes, and then the 11th minute it kind of goes off the rails, right? I do think you got to go back to the start, like the Joe Rogan origin story here, right? He was on YouTube. He was a YouTuber. And for some reason, for several years, 3 or 4 years, most videos that came from the alt-right, the recommendations algorithm dragged them towards Joe Rogan videos.
Fuck you, Sitch. Fuck you.
Joe Rogan. All right, rabbit hole.
And then this liar showed up.
You thought it couldn't get any worse, Adam, but don't you know the hole can always go deeper.
What pain. So when they were talking about their racism, he must have been aware of it. He studies racism.
Yeah, listen.
Some racist scholar here.
Right. I also like the idea how you can make the argument that YouTube is trying to de-radicalize extremists by shuffling towards Joe Rogan. But no, this is indicative of the fact that Joe Rogan is an extremist and some kind of alt-righter, a white nationalist. Joe Rogan, very well-known white nationalist.
As soon as you're done watching that Holocaust denial video on YouTube, it cycles you right over to Bernie Sanders and Joe Rogan.
When I think Richard Spencer and Nick Fuentes, I also think Joe Rogan. They're like the same. They're like 3 peas in a pod.
Yeah. That's what's insane about this, because they want you to think that.
Yes.
It's sad.
And it's still unclear if he had anything to do with this. I actually don't think he did. But then he started serving that audience. And that audience is a lot more interested in what Alex Jones has to say than what a doctor has to say. And once you start serving that audience exclusively, then you sort of cut yourself off from traditional thought processes.
This is a problem. This is how fucking insane these people are. Okay. Joe Rogan destroying them all in the views. And since he's creating this narrative that Joe Rogan is catering to these alt-righters, they then must think, oh, the 11 million people that listen to Joe Rogan are all alt-righters. This is why they're so afraid that we're living in this secret white nationalist country.
This is why they love this narrative. I'm telling you.
Right.
This is exactly what they're trying to do.
Yep.
They need to find secret Nazis. And they're like, let's look for people with giant audiences that we can paint their entire audiences as Nazis so that we can keep this narrative going.
Yep.
I mean, they basically did the same thing with Trump. They tried to say 70 million Americans voted for Trump and they're all racist. It's the same playbook.
This is the play. You're right. It's the same playbook.
It's insidious. It's completely insidious. Bunch of commies. Fucking hate America.
It's about how, say, a pandemic works necessarily. Spotify, I'm sure, gave him a call this weekend and was like, look, you gotta get back to reality here on some of this stuff because it's hurting people and it's hurting our bottom line.
You don't know that. You don't know that. Their subscribers could be up at Spotify. They could be laughing about, oh, keep doing this. Do another apology video.
The stock prices went down in Spotify.
They don't know. These people don't know fucking shit. They don't know. They don't know. The idea, they could be laughing about this. They could be saying, listen, Joe, that last video, the last apology video was great, but we want you to make the cringiest apology video you possibly can, okay? So, Subscribers are through the roof. People are so interested. We want you to get you a black turtleneck and put you in a black room so it looks like your head is just floating in space. What do you think? And we want you to tell the racist Planet of the Apes story. We want you to tell it right into the camera. Do big bug eyes when you do it. They could have had this conversation. I mean, I got to admit, I'm wondering what's going on.
It was all a prank, bro.
They have all kinds of metrics there. Yeah. Listen, these technology guys, they follow you around like crazy. They got buttons. Yeah, they got a huge base of people that have this app. They're like,
they got numbers.
The show volume is through the roof. Joe Rogan, it's going crazy. Keep being crazy. We'll denounce you as much, but you got to make it more palatable for me to denounce. It's a big game to them. They don't know. They don't know shit. The fact that they're pretending like they do is kind of insidious.
Maybe he can shift himself back towards, having real conversations about public health here that come closer to real world conversations and not the YouTube algorithm conversations that he's driven himself towards.
That's completely stupid.
Real world conversation.
Joe Rogan didn't do anything to chase the YouTube algorithm.
I know. 11 million people obviously tuning in because they want to listen to real conversations and not this tripe you put on the Joy Reid program.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Neither one of these people could go for a 3-hour conversation. Like, come on now.
I doubt it because it would be less lucrative and you'd probably get less listeners. And Teray, I mean, you do a podcast. You do a very popular podcast, actually. I mean, you're in this world.
Okay, maybe you can go 3 hours.
I mean, the difference here is that Spotify is not like YouTube or like Twitter. They are his publisher. Like, they actually they're in a different relationship.
Yeah, they're really hitting this publisher angle.
Cancel him. Cancel him.
With him than YouTube is. YouTube just has lots of people on the platform. They're literally his publisher. Just talk a little bit about that world and how it works.
Well, it's interesting because Spotify starts, of course, disseminating musicians, right? But the music industry has basically a stranglehold over their earnings where they get a very tiny amount of the money that is earned from streaming, and the contracts with the music industry are renewed constantly, so they can never actually make that much of a profit off of music. And then one day they discovered something's going on over here. Podcasts. That is making us a lot of money, and we can really profit off of podcasts. And they went really deep into the podcasting world, purchasing podcasting companies and buying wanting to become the home for So whenever you think of podcasting, you want Jamel Hill, you go over there. You want, Ibram Kendi, you go over there. And of course you want Joe Rogan, you go over there. So
this is so dumb. I have no idea what he's talking about. What is the model on Spotify? I know Joe Rogan has a couple commercials that pop up. I just got Spotify for the first time. Like, I didn't follow Joe Rogan over to Spotify. I know I'm a new user, so I mean, but doesn't Spotify make money off of the advertising between the songs? So how do the music people? They get a huge cut of that advertising. I was under the impression that the Spotify was making a bunch of money and the recording artists were getting fucked. But to him telling it is completely opposite of that.
So the Joni Mitchells and the Neil Youngs can only have so much of an impact because they are a teeny part of what Spotify is actually earning money from. Joe Rogan is actually bringing a lot of people in the door. So, unless you say somebody like a Taylor Swift is going to say, I'm deplatforming my music from Spotify, they're probably not really going to listen to those of us. I mean, Joe Rogan definitely does not prepare for his shows. That is clear, right? Like I can tell when I listen to you that you are prepared for the interview. He is clearly not prepared. I can tell he just goes on there.
Look at Joy Reid's face. He's he's blowing smoke so hard, and she's just so loving it. Oh yeah,
she's glowing like,
in the adulation,
right in there.
Yeah. Oh, tell him how smart I am, how well prepared I am.
and just spits whatever comes to mind. He's a comedian. He's used to just going up on the mic and just talking, and that's what he does.
And that's why people like it. And that is why he is so actually dangerous and really powerful. And it is quite dangerous. Ben Collins, Teray, thank y'all very much. Appreciate you both. All right.
That's why he's so dangerous.
Mm-hmm.